What's going on, folks? Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulties, but we got it resolved and we got it fixed. And the grind don't stop. A little bit of button pushing, a little bit of figuring shit out. We still new to the game, so it is what it is. But hey, we ain't even gonna trip on that. All right. So appreciate everybody who came back and who's checking us out. So see you N. Garcia, and I see you Andreas. Yo, I appreciate y'all coming through and saying what's up. For everybody who don't know, welcome to the M.O.B Podcast. This is episode 7, featuring your boy Jake, aka Survivors of Suicide's lead vocalist. Yo, everybody give him a round of applause real quick. I'm gonna give me a little soundboard soon. I actually got one, but I don't know how to configure it for the thing. See, look. Been in IT for God knows how long, and I'm still not super tech savvy.
Hey, in your defense, though, IT doesn't always cover software. IT is mainly a hardware type. Software is a whole different beast.
Facts. Facts.
Still fits in the field, broad strokes terms, whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people, at least.
You better than me. I'm not tech savvy like that at all. That all goes over my head.
Yeah.
Shit. Be in IT and tell your chief that.
But it's cool, bro. I fucks with it, man. So, yeah, man. We gonna let's go back and circle back around and talk about the things that everybody's week. So, for those of you who don't know, I like to start off the show with a wellness check, asking everybody how their week was and everything. So, Dallas, let's start off with you, man. How you feeling today? How was your week?
Good, man. Good week, man. You know what I'm saying? Got a new position that I've been hoping for.
That's what's
you know
up.
what I'm saying? So just working towards that. Gotta find out what my fall schedule's getting ready to be here. That's right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So just getting that all figured up and finalized up and just finish making plans, man, making moves. Another good week down, man. You know what I'm saying? No complaints.
Hey, that's what we like to hear. We like to hear about people winning, So I fucks with that. Good shit, man. Good shit.
Oh, yeah.
Jake, how you feeling, brother?
Hey, man. Came off of leave, had a heavy work week. Things are catching up. There was almost a moment. Not gonna lie, there was almost a moment where I was just like, I almost just threw up the hands and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is next week's problem, tomorrow's problem. But then I was like, nah, I can't get fired.
Yeah, nah. It's a drought out here.
Right, man. That's how I be feeling sometimes, yo. Like if I had to pay bills, I'd never work.
Yeah.
The fuck,
Yeah.
You and the billions of other people on the planet.
That's an issue, though. Like I feel like you know what? That's a we don't have the conversation now, man. I feel like
I don't know,
man, yo, I be getting
That's an American
tired.
thing.
Yeah, yo, and I just be feeling like,
Yeah.
bro, like this 9 to 5 shit's for the birds. Like I don't like it, bro. It's not great.
It's trash. It's garbage.
And then I feel like
Grind,
when you work 9 to 5 like that, right, or however long you work 5 days a week, and then it's like Sunday is normally like the prep day for the rest of the week. So you prepping Sunday, right, and then you work 5 other days of the week. So you really only get like Friday night and Saturday to yourself, like for yourself specifically, and then everything else is just dedicated to work. So if you think about it, I don't want to like bring people down and sound morbid or whatever, but if you think about it, what's that? Let's say you get 24 hours of Saturday, and then we'll say you get 12 hours. No, not even 12 hours. We'll say you get 6 hours after work on like a Friday or something like that to yourself, right? So you got the 6 hours, 12, that's 18 hours a week you get to yourself. That's it. And I don't want to do the math, but I'm going to do the math real quick. Quick math. All right.
Now, you see that Spain, they actually, their government just approved a 4-day work week. They're the first country to try, to doing a 4. I mean, the studies and the research, like everything shows that we're like, we don't operate at optimal like efficiency and shit. We're doing this 5 days a week,
So I did the math real quick, right?
Big
So
brain.
if you get 18 hours, or if you get oh no, I did the math wrong. See, 24 hours 6 is 30. So 30. Look, I'm stupid. So all right. So look, we're gonna do 30
I did the math.
times 52. So 30 hours a week to yourself times 52 And that's solely to yourself, right? Times 52
What is
weeks
that
in a
like?
year. That's
1560?
1,560, right? And then we're going to divide
Boom.
that by 24 to see how many days you actually get to yourself. 65 days out of a 360. So 300 days you spent working or preparing
That's
for
a
work.
long time.
And obviously this doesn't count holidays and shit like that. But I mean, the numbers doesn't change that drastic. You get maybe like, I don't know, 2 weeks.
What are you doing preparing for work? You just gotta get up and go.
Nah, man, you gotta like not only prepare for work, but you gotta clean and shit. You gotta clean it. I mean, if you single like me, if you a bachelor, you know what I'm saying, and you doing your own thing, you gotta clean, you gotta cook, like meal prep sometime and shit, whatever. Then you gotta fucking make sure yeah. Then you gotta iron your clothes for the week and shit. So that's usually what I spend my Sundays doing. I spend my Sundays.
I'm in a profession where we
in my line of work, there isn't a. Oh, what were you saying?
I said I'm happy I'm in a profession to where I can just wear different versions of the same thing.
Yeah, bro.
That's the one thing I miss about the military.
In my line of work, it's not a get up and go. Like every night, I gotta be like, all right, what are we about to get into tomorrow? We had a plan for today, but what just changed? And what are we? All right, now I gotta reach out to this person. Now we gotta do this. Now I gotta plan for that, schedule for this. Like when I'm off the clock, I'm still on the clock.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I feel like the key, at least in my personal life, how I'm wired, the key is just like not being in a mundane situation. Like if I like that's why I couldn't work like IT. If I came in every day, sat behind the same desk, listened to the same stupid complaints and problems from the same people all the time, I'd be like, man.
Bro, that's why I couldn't do help desk
It's funny
anymore.
because like
Fuck that.
y'all not helping like people in IT. Y'all have it difficult because y'all not helping people who are like super up to date and sacked heavy, tech savvy or whatever.
So that's the thing, right? We actually don't do.
Can you help me turn on my computer? Oh, I don't.
So I actually don't do any help desk work anymore. That's what I did when I was in the military or whatever.
That's what you do when you start out.
Yeah, that's what you. Yeah, every IT when they start out, your entry level job is help desk somewhere. So, the type of job I work now, I'm not gonna get in super specifics, but it is like an engineering job, and it's basically a network engineer job. So we design topology, we implement systems and all this other shit. I'm not gonna go in, but the point is, it's very mundane, boring work. A lot of it is spent. They like to introduce new technologies and shit. So a lot of it is spent reading up on this new piece of equipment that we just got, and how we're going to incorporate it into the network. And then we have to do a bunch of paperwork because we have to do there's all types of checks and balances, right? We got this new system, but it's got to be approved by, this organization. Then the firewall team, they got to approve it, make sure that they give it access to the ports and all that shit. Then when we talking, so we dealt with our own firewall. Now we got to talk to the external firewall folks. So we talking to them. And then it's you know what? There's an actual DMZ we got to go through. So we got to talk with them folks. Bro, it's a bunch of just passing shit around and doing all types of, it's fucking boring, man. Listen, for y'all watching, get the likes up, man. M.O.B Podcast. I'm trying to talk. That's what I want to do for a living. I just want to talk shit and get paid, all right? Is that too much to ask,
Hey, man, Charlemagne the God does it. Sway does it.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be like Charlemagne. I ain't going to hold you. I ain't trying to be like Charlemagne.
But you ain't trying to get eyebrows like that?
Nah, I don't want my eyebrows like that, and I don't want to. I don't know, man. That man be on some other shit, bro. Y'all heard? Never. I don't want to gossip on a black man, but I don't want to gossip on a black man. But it's just motherfucking. It's boring doing all this 9 to 5 shit. So look, that's why that's why the three of us are always trying to take on different endeavors. Jake's got his band, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. I got this brand. We all doing this podcast because we trying to make something bigger than just, the simple shit. I be feeling. I be thinking to myself and this is not to attack people, but why do people settle for just not why? I understand people have to settle sometimes, but it can't be me, bro. I'm not gonna settle for just doing this shit for the rest of my life, bro. We just did the math. If I work 300 days, a fucking year, and only get 65 days to myself, what kind of shit is that, bro? The majority of my life is being spent working for someone else.
We live to work. We live to work. That is the American work society.
I think that's gonna change. That's gonna change within the next 20 years. Though.
I hope so.
I believe that too.
You gotta think, bro. people our age have seen a lot of people go to work for a living and then get done with working and still gotta work.
Bro,
that retirement don't really do you too much too well, you know.
Like,
no,
you know, the whole conversation on Social Security and retirement and all that stuff, that's for a different day, you know, obviously.
Right.
You get into situations like that. The young people ain't trying to end up like that.
Yeah.
What people our age gotta be what, like 70 something to get their Social Security?
And you know what's crazy? So you gotta work 20
wild.
years to years in like in a set position to retire, right? And a lot of people always have this mentality, you know, work hard now and play later. That's cool, but why the fuck do I have to wait till I'm like at my midlife crisis to play? You know,
bro, you're past
I ain't trying to be. I ain't trying to be 50 in my 50s, early 60s before I can be like, all right, you know what? Now I'm gonna enjoy my shit. Now I'm gonna enjoy my shit.
Now I can relax.
Let me go on the let me go on this cruise. Let me go to this other country. Let me do X, Y, and Z. Fuck that. I'm trying to do that shit while I'm young and I'm sexy and I'm fit. Like I'm trying to do that shit when I'm in my prime, you know? It don't make no sense. Wait until you old and withered and shit to be fucking trying to
What is prime, yo? What is your prime now? What do you consider your prime? I'm living for a long time.
I consider my prime
like at least 35.
I consider people's prime to be anywhere. I'm gonna say mid 20s to late 30s. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say your prime. If you really think about it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If like people
25 to 40.
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say 25 to 40 is your like prime because that's when you're old enough to where. One, you should at least have a grasp of what it is you want to do. Not saying you have to do, or you have to like have a plan already. But by 25, you should have like a grasp of what you want to do, and you should have enough growth and development where you're making smarter decisions. Because you know when you're younger, you be doing stupid shit, and it is what it is. You just be doing whatever. Plus, when you're younger, you can't really get into those positions that pay well because they want experience and education and all this other stuff, and all that stuff comes with time. So I feel like by the time you're 25, either most people have graduated college and been working for a little bit, or they graduated high school and they've have enough work experience and maybe figured out what it is they want to do, where it kind of equates the whole college degree situation, you know? So
man, we gotta normalize not going to college straight out of high school. If you're not ready.
Facts. Facts. Bro, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, hey, we gonna talk about this.
Don't get me started
later. We gonna talk about this in another show, but I agree 100%. We definitely gonna talk about.
Oh my god!
To all the young people out there, you do not feel pressure to go to college directly after high school.
Do not.
Fact.
If you have a solid fact on like, oh, I want to be a doctor, oh, I want to be a neurosurgeon, oh, something that takes like required. 10 years to get done. All right, cool, but don't get out of high school and then go get like a psychology degree and then just like regret the fact that you didn't go get a degree that was worth something because you didn't know what you wanted to do at the moment.
Right.
You just felt pressured to go to school. Like,
and that's okay. And like, well, even then, let's say that, or some people are forced to go to school. I dated a girl whose mom forced her to go to college, even though she was like, Mom, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. She's like, well, if I'm paying for it, then you're going to go. Hey,
folks, I hate to interrupt. And I want to have this conversation, but let's save it for another day. All right.
True.
So let me read the comments real quick. I'm going to read the comments and then we're going to get into survivors of suicide and Jake. All right. So so first let's start off with the comments. Yo, I see Mom coming through with the peace sign. Andreas Walt coming through. Pops said 4-day work weeks have been a norm in Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, and Norway. Hell, even in Kuwait, depending on the employer. Companies here just frown on it because of the implied loss of earnings. That's facts, though. Motherfuckers just wanna milk you, man, for your youth. That's what they want to do. They want to milk you for your youth. And then when you old and shit, they be like, all right, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. But while you young and able, they want to milk you.
Mm-hmm.
Andreas
Tell me
Walt
not,
with the
you knew that change was coming when they changed the personnel department to human resources. Mm-hmm. That should just tell you right there how they see you.
Facts.
We're just a goddamn number.
Dre Ballard said, y'all trying to be the top richest 30 by 30? You damn right. Shit. Why strive for anything less? You know, a lot of people say money doesn't equal happiness, and to them I say shit. Because at the end of the day, an excess of money means an excess of opportunities and like things you can go do. You can go on trips, you can do whatever. And I don't care what none of y'all say. All right, as a motherfucker who has traveled, yo, Jake, you and me went on the Euro trip. Tell me that was some of the best shit ever. Just traveling and having a good time, bro.
It is wild too. Like just even being right, even being a light-skinned black man, just how other countries treat us like we're wanted, we're exotic and shit.
We gonna have this conversation too. But we gonna say that for another time. All right. Andreas Walt said, have to teach the young folks that a trade is just as important. Yes, that is true. We have to start pushing skills and qualifications, certifications over just basic degrees. Because a lot of people be like, yo, I'm gonna go to college and then get this degree in fucking psychology, and I ain't trying to hold you. Like, you know, it's cool to if you're gonna be a psychologist or whatnot and whatever. But a lot of people don't necessarily know what they want to do with that degree, and then they get out of fucking college just to work, you know, barely above minimum wage or some shit or some job that really doesn't like their degree doesn't qualify them for. But again, completely different conversation. We're gonna have that shit as time comes. So everybody, we got a star in the making, in the building. All right. And I say that not just because the homie is the homie. All right. I think y'all both know I'm candid. I'm blunt. If I don't like something, I'm gonna be like, hey man, you know, you might want to try to do something different. You might want to try drawing or some shit. You might want to try doing whatever. You know, something. And respectfully,
building birdhouses.
Yeah, respectfully, you know. But Jake, man, Jake has been talking about doing this whole survivors of suicide thing for a minute. And when he started making music, and you could start seeing the shit he's been putting out, it is fucking inspiring. And I really like fucks with it because me and him we've had conversations, man, where we stayed up late and we're just talking about all the shit we want to do and always complaining about like, this is why we can't do this, you know, the military this or the job that, and I got to move and do this, all these obligations. And now I think the both of us are at a point, especially Jake, where we can start venturing into the things that we want to do, those passion projects. So I'm going to shut the fuck up for now, right? Jake, I want you to tell the people about yourself, about your band, and what it means to you. So Jake, tell us about Survivors of Suicide.
Yeah, man. SOS is a passion project, right? This was something that stems all the way back. You know, let's just start from the beginning. So when I came out the womb, right, I already knew that I was already.
When I was born,
it started when my parents didn't show up to my own birth,
right?
And I knew from that. But no, dude, there was a I do come from a like musical parents, you know, like my dad is a musician through and through. My mom, she's a really talented singer, and so I kind of already just had those roots. And they put me into music in elementary school. You know, I did it all through high school and everything, playing like traditional. But then, you know, get into the garage band instruments, you know, guitar, bass, and everything. That all started because one day, right, you know, my brother busted out the Walkman, you know, with the little shitty styrofoam headphones and, you know, the band and whatnot. And dude goes, he goes, Jake, you have to listen to these guys. Their lead singer is black. And I was like, what? That's not possible. Black people don't do metal. Black people don't do rock. I was like, what? Nice. And so the song that he showed me was by a band called Kill Switch Engage, A Bid Farewell. And I'm listening to it, and it's just noise. It's just all this fast noises, loud sounds, and I'm like, what the hell?
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell did this motherfucker put on my head? And bro, and then the chorus hit, and you know when Howard's big ass voice comes out, he starts singing and everything. The chorus hit, and it changed my goddamn life. It changed. I said, like,
opened
that
your third eye.
If that moment never happened, I would have never gotten into this shit. Like, it was quite literally life changing, right? So then I was like, oh my God, music like this exists. So, you know, it was almost one of those things like I don't know if people, I mean, so there's a really famous vocal teacher called Melissa Cross, and she's the woman who teaches people how to scream. Like she's the one who taught Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. She's the one who taught, you know, Tommy Vex. She's the one who taught what's his name from Bullet for My Valentine. And granted, these guys were already like doing it, you know, they're already doing their thing.
Right.
But she was like, she taught them how to perfect it, right? She taught them how to actually become a vocalist, how to become a singer, you know, how to do shit the right way. And so I found her, I started doing it, and you know, and for those of you who don't know, my brother who showed me that music, he ended up passing, and he actually wanted to, you know, through both of us kind of being, you know, in metal, searching for bands and listening to this music and whatnot, he almost started, you know, a rock band with some guys, and it's crazy too because some of those guys are actually like pretty fucking famous now. It's kind of crazy, you know. They were about it, and he told me one day that you know, they were gonna start a band called Survivors of Suicide, and yeah, and the name just kind of stuck, you know. It really did.
I didn't know that. So I did not see.
Yeah,
look,
man.
I known Jake for a minute, and I had no fucking idea about this the history behind the name. You know, I thought it was just like the man was just like, yo, let me pick some shit that sounds cool as fuck. And he was like, nah, man, this shit got some history behind it. So go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, continue, brother. Continue.
No, you're good. And so the name just stuck, man. The name just stuck. And so you know, joined some bands. You know, played some shows, made some music. You know, stuck with it, stuck through it, and you know, even going through the military, like I always went back to it. It was the shit I was always going back to. And so finally, I said, let's get serious. I was like, am I just gonna keep talking about it, or am I gonna fucking do it? So then I did it, and you know, my music has been well received. Nothing famous, you know, nothing like crazy big, nothing. But humble brag, my music is better than Low Hanging Fruit. That I know for a fact. That I know. He said,
"I'm gonna talk my shit."
And yeah, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like I know already. I know already. It's not for everybody, right? It is metal. Metal's already a niche genre.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are a metalhead, or even if you just fuck with rock in general, I can guarantee you will. I can guarantee you will notice, right, the work and passion that goes into it at minimum. You know what I mean? Ooh. This isn't some shit where I'm just clanging and banging on a guitar and some drums and whatnot, you know? This is, like I said, it's a passion project. So everything comes from something. So this is my baby.
That's what's up.
This is my baby.
Hey, man, talk your shit. Let niggas know. Yeah, right? Let niggas know. You know what? That's a perfect segue. Let's go ahead and peep out some of his music. You know, he was talking his shit. He said, I know my shit is solid. So let's see what we got going on. So Jake, normally I would pick the stuff, but I mean, you got your songs. What do you think would be the best intro song to people listening to your music, like, and the most like palatable to everybody in general? Which one of your songs? The Baron by far. That song I made specifically to reach as many people as possible. And you know what? That's great because I like the Baron, and the Baron's got a full-blown music video, y'all. So we gonna take this time. We gonna watch the Baron music video made by Survivors of Suicide. All right, we gonna switch over to this shit real quick. But y'all peep in, y'all stay in. All right. So look at us. Look at this reaction screen. What's going on here? Hold on. It is really not that big of a deal. This is what we gonna do. Look, this is what we gonna do. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Let's see who's that. That's supposed to be Jake, but that's Dallas. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. We gonna run with it, yo. It's all right. We done had too much shit going on. Fuck it. I'll change the shit as we go. But you know, y'all peep the listen. Don't worry about us. Worry about the music. That's the point of the motherfucking show today. So let's get into it. The Baron, Survivors of Suicide.
I begged that I needed a favor.
bruh. Oh, you know what? Hold on real quick, because I ain't showed everybody the last little message. When you lose yourself, you lose everything else. Man, first off, kudos to you, motherfucker. Let's go ahead and give everybody. Let's go ahead and give Jake a round of applause, man. God damn, listen, that's a bop right there, yo. I fucks with that. As somebody who I like metal and I like rock, but that's not like my first go-to genre. When I heard this shit the first time, I was like, nigga, what is you doing? You ain't had to do all this. I was like, you ain't had to come this hot. You ain't had to do that for us, but you did. Oh man, Andreas Walt said, gave me chills, Drake. Look, round of applause. Listen. I told y'all we have a star in the making, and I was not lying. I don't be capping, bro. All right, it's all facts on this cast. Dak is all facts. All right, look. Jake, give us the breakdown behind this Baron song, man. That shit really did give me chills. Give me the breakdown on the song itself, like the inspiration behind the Baron, how you went about making this music video, because I want to talk about that throw up scene. That was a little graphic, you know what I'm saying? I should have said a little graphic imagery type shit, you know. But yeah, and then yeah, man, just tell us how you feel about that song in general.
Yeah, dude, that song actually. And this I've actually never explained. Like, if you go on like my socials and everything, what I actually do specifically on SoundCloud, right? Exclusive to SoundCloud, because that's where I get the least amount of viewers. I don't know why I do it that way. I just fucking do. But whenever I upload some shit to SoundCloud, I always kind of do a little behind the scenes type write up and everything, just kind of like the history of it. But this song actually, right? Because this was a moment in my life where I was just going through it, right? I was just going through some terrible, terrible shit. And I was playing The Witcher 3.
Ooh.
And, you know, and for those of you who know, yeah, the side quest, the Baron.
Yeah, amazing.
Right? Yeah, shit ended up terrible, ended up bad. Because the dude, like, the drinking got the best of him. And during this time, I was drinking just as hard, basically. And this was out just one day, right? I woke up on my fucking floor, and I was just kind of looking around at my apartment, and there was just bottles everywhere. You know, everything was dirty. It was a mess. Like, I was like calling out of work and shit. And I mean, shit, I was fucking drinking on the job. Like, I would go out on my lunch break, open up the trunk, right? I pick up like a big gulp on the way, and then I just pop the trunk, fucking fill up my big gulp with it, and just go back and get fucked up on the job. Like, dude, it was bad, right? It was bad. And, you know, thankfully, you know, we all worked past it. All good, you know, I'm all past that shit. But it was just it was a low moment, right? It was another rock bottom. And so I was like, all right, this song is definitely going to be a type of, right? It's gonna be cathartic, because I'm pretty sure most people can, how do I say, relate to substance abuse. And so it was also a way of saying, like, hey, like, if you're going through it, like, I've been through it as well. You know, I've made this not only for myself, but for others as well. You know, it's and when you break down the lyrics, you know, line by line, you know, like I was saying, it's always there for me, right? The alcohol, like, I don't ever have to stop looking for it. I can even order it online. I don't even have to leave my fucking. I don't even have to leave my door.
Motherfucking go puff that shit to the crib. Yeah.
Right.
That's
yeah.
Real. That's real.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, when I came to that realization, it was just, you know, deep down inside, there's nowhere to hide. You know, you can't run from yourself. Eventually, you got to get past. You know, you got to work on, and you got to overcome whatever's just eating up at you. So the Baron, not only that's a song that I could probably play and sing for the rest of my life, in all honesty.
For sure,
just because of, yeah,
just because it's a great fucking song too, yo. And I want to, like, first I want to thank you for sharing, like, you know, your little personal tidbits, because, you know, I think everybody has their own obstacles that they go through in life. But man, I mean, if it got to the point where you were like, you know, fucking drinking on the job and all that stuff, that's a pretty serious problem you had, you know. And, I think
it was a fuck it to the world.
Yeah, man. And I think that you deciding, you know, I need to stop doing these deconstructive fucking like cathartic whatevers and turn it into something constructive with your music and with the Baron in particular. That's what's up, man. Not a lot of people do that. I feel like a lot of people get into the mindset where they have this issue, they're hitting rock bottom, and because alcohol or drugs or whatever, it makes you feel good. It kind of temporarily relieves that pain. People just stick with it, and then it leads to it leads to bad health habits and possibly addiction, substance abuse, and then to the point where something detrimental can happen. It can start affecting your health. Your liver. Is what we're talking about, alcohol.
Yeah.
But it could be anything. And people can get alcohol poisoning. So, yeah, man. Dallas, how do you feel about that, man?
Bruh, from a guy who instruments, what does it feel like to rip that guitar though? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, for real, dead ass, nigga. Like, I'm one of them people. Like, when I hear shit, like, nigga, I'd be making that motherfucker sing. You know what I'm saying? That should be going dumb, bro. So it's like, it's fire, man. Because when you in the weight room, man, and you maxing out, like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You need something that. And being a football player, all different types of, rocks and metal songs have been played. And, I was never no one to, blast. I wasn't headbutting no lockers or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dallas.
Them cats, you feel me?
Hey, homie, I don't mean to interrupt, homie, but you got your face is stuck right now on the screen.
Oh, for real?
Oh, it is.
Yo, hey, look,
we've been hitting the same pose for the past.
Hey, listen, nigga, we can't get a break today. Motherfuckers just like, look, y'all not having this show,
right?
All right, y'all motherfuckers y'all not gonna do it. Hey, you know what? Fuck it is what it is. Dallas, there we go. Look, he can't. Hey, he just hit.
There he is.
He just hit the lag for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He just hit the lag. He was lagging on us, but it's cool. Go ahead, Dallas. Continue what you were saying.
Bro. No, but I'm just saying, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does it feel like to rip the guitar like that? You know what I mean? How long did it take you to learn how to be able to you know what I'm saying, to do your thing?
Because it's in everything that you do. Like you can hear, right, when you're recording instruments, right, just as well as when you're singing and shit. You can hear it when someone's just like lightly playing or whatever, and you can hear it when someone's like just fucking like in it. You know what I mean? And so it's really just channeling, your whatever it may be, right? Whether you're feeling angry, whether you're feeling sad, whether you whatever that is, it really is just channeling it and just directing that through whatever the fuck you're putting that out on, right? It could be the piano, it could be the drums, it could.
Motherfuckers just ripping the piano,
but. Like, hey man, like,
cold.
I know, right? Motherfucker. Ray Charles, though, he was getting into it. Stevie Wonder too, all them. But go ahead.
Bruh.
Facts.
So how long did it take you to learn your instrument, man?
How long did it take me to learn?
Yeah, how long did it take you to learn how to play the guitar?
I mean, shit. I still tell people I'm still learning. You know, there's how do I say? I call myself jack of all trades, master of none. So I got I can hold myself on a piano, I can hold myself down on a guitar, I can hold it down on a bass and whatnot. But I've been playing for 2021, and I started somewhere around 2006, circa 2006. So it's been, goddamn, about 15 years almost?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Andreas Walt says we're lagging. Yo, Andreas, I'm going to keep it a band with you, homie. I don't know what's going on, bro. I think the podcasting guys are just telling us to shut the fuck up and try to, hinder us and make us take this L. But we gonna push past it, yo. So listen, if we lagging and if the video's lagging, just close your eyes and take in the audio. You know what I'm saying? We're still we're lagging for Rome too, yo. What's going on, man? I don't know what we can do to fix that, folks. Let me see.
See, the people don't want my.
Ready for the.
They don't want to. They don't want to see me shine.
Yeah.
They wasn't ready for the guitar riffs, man. It was the guitar riffs, dog.
Yeah, man. Let me check out the Facebook. But while I check out the Facebook, yo, we gonna throw on another one of Jake's songs real quick, and we might be lagging still, y'all. But again, if real quick, Andreas in Rome, is it the audio that's lagging or is it the video that's lagging? That's really the important thing. If the audio is lagging, then that's an issue. If the video is lagging, we can kind of work past that. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
10 years is considered a master, Jake. That's what Rome said. So, but I think Jake's saying that he hasn't put in a consistent 10 years. You know, it's on and off through the obligations and such. You know, so
it has been on and off.
So, but yeah, man, we gonna go ahead and
like
we gonna play this.
Something that I always come back to.
We gonna play this second video. Y'all gonna check out this song. It's called "The Haunted Mistress." Right, another one of Jake's, or not Jake, another one of Survivor of Suicide's hits. So let's go ahead and get you over there, and I'm gonna check out the stream. Yo, I know y'all heard that shit. I know y'all heard motherfucker going in. Look at that shit. Look at the man's putting in the work. Hey, look. So first off, kudos to you, Jake. Another brilliant. Oh, hold on. Another brilliant song. Another brilliant masterpiece that was The Haunted Mistress. Y'all, Rome, Andreas, everybody who's watching. You know, it's been a tech day, man, and unfortunately, I don't know what to do. And maybe my PC. Look, my camera's fucking up too. So it's just a bunch of shit going on right now, yo. And motherfuckers just don't want us to win. But I'm really not like trying to focus on that. I'm really not trying to focus on that. I'm gonna try to push past. We gonna push past this stream, and hopefully, when people go to watch it back, hopefully it doesn't have these lagging issues. Maybe it's just a live stream thing. So
right,
and hopefully it comes back.
It could be.
Yeah, hopefully it comes back when people come through and watch it and it's better. So, I mean, if y'all want to come back and watch it later, y'all can. But if y'all really going to, like, tough it out with us, the way we trying to tough it out right now, I really would appreciate that as well. So, kudos to y'all. But, man, Jake, The Haunted Mistress, man, another chilling song. First off, that music video was fucking, or that lyric video, I should say, was fucking dope, I fucks with it.
Shit's dope as hell, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So how do you go about...
It's fucking awesome.
How do you go about like collaborating with artists?
It really comes from I don't know how it starts, but eventually you just kind of find yourself in it. You know what I mean? You might not know what I mean because that's kind of stupid now hearing what I say. But no, dude. When you do certain things. You try to find like-minded people, and then, you could find a couple, and then, eventually you find yourself being a part of, certain communities, certain groups, and whatnot. And, when you utilize your resources, right, people just, and everyone's kind of networking as well. Mm-hmm. So I actually, the guy who did the artwork, the ghost and the girl, he is from... Sri Lanka, I think it is.
Internationally known.
Yeah, he's an exotic motherfucker. Okay. And the dude who did the video, I believe he's stateside. But the guy who does the video, he actually he does a lot of videos like this for like actual like signed like AAA status famous bands. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to be seen as a professional, you got to treat your shit like a professional. And you have to give yourself that standard. And For sure. It kind of sucks because if I'm being honest, like SOS is a money pit. It really is. Like let's just say everything, right? Song, marketing, recording, mixing, all that shit. If it's $1,000 per song, I only make back probably like $50, So it is a money pit. But like I said, it's a passion project. So I'm still gonna do what I do. Hopefully, it ends up catching up and I end up breaking even on it. Hey. But if I never do, I'll never do. Because at the end of the day, I'm proud of what I do, and I'm doing it because I want to do it.
That's what's up, man.
That's just one of those things. Quick, it is what it is.
Let's give a shout out to Maurice Williams, aka Chubby Sensei, in the building, y'all. Hey. Look at that. Hey, appreciate you, Chubby, coming back. Supporting us.
Hey, man. Yeah.
OGRG Los. Hey, man. Thanks for coming back and checking out the podcast. He said, dope. I heard your music, Jake. It's amazing. Come on now. This is the M.O.B Podcast.
Thank you.
This is Black Sheep Collective. We only bring black excellence onto the show. You know what I'm saying? So we brought on a blogger. We brought on a female CEO entrepreneur of her own clothing company. We brought on the lyrical motherfucker that was Chubby Sensei coming through with the eyes and flows and all that and everything. And now we got Jake, Mr. The next motherfucking Howard. What's his last name? I don't know his last name. The next Howard.
Jones.
Howard
Jones.
Yeah. And Nayron Monk coming through saying, yeah, what's going on, Nayron? Appreciate you coming through and supporting the stream. Yo. Just to let y'all, we ain't gonna talk about that. Anyway, I see we got some people coming through. A lot of people coming through now. So I respect that. Bro was working on his Ben Wallace. Hey, Dallas, your brother said you working on your Ben Wallace.
Working on the fro, the Ben Wallace fro. Yeah, man, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Struggling.
That's what's up. Hey,
struggling.
Yeah, you know. But that's what's up, man. Hey, so let's continuing on with the show, man. Jake, you told us about how you first started off, and what the moment that inspired you to become something more, to become that musician. But what about the actual musicians that inspired you to become a metal musician? Are there any particular people who you look up to, or just your general favorites in the metal community?
Yeah, man. There's two in particular. And if you listen to metal, you'll hear it right away, right? One, the dude we were just talking about, Howard Jones. He was I don't want to say single-handedly, because at the end of the day it's a band, and even then he wasn't the brains behind the band. But if it wasn't for that group, right, and Howard being Howard, literally just him being born, going through his life, right, it wouldn't have had an effect on me, right? And people who connect with music, no matter how little or big you are into it, I think we can all sympathize with being able to connect to artists and songs, and because music is almost equatorial to memories. There'll be times where a song or album will come on and it just throws me back, you know what I mean, into where I was at the time, maybe who I was with, what I was going through, whatever. But to go off on a tangent, but Howard Jones is definitely the main inspiration. And then, right, disclaimer, as crazy as he is, there's another man named Tommy Vext who was big in the metal scene. He's also another singer, but I say disclaimer because if you go and look him up,
hey, look, we don't gotta talk about that.
Fuck it, I'm gonna just be blunt. I'm gonna just be blunt about it. Nah, he fell off the deep end, and because when I say that he was a main inspiration, right? People are automatically gonna assume, because they already have. They be like, oh, so you into this? You believe? I'm like, whoa. Right? Just because I listen to R. Kelly doesn't mean I was peeing on kids. Like, hold the fuck on.
Hey, chill out.
Right? Hold the fuck on. Right?
Not the Kells.
Right?
Same girl.
Man.
But it was yeah, those are the main two. And then when you get into just music and your communities and whatnot, you come to find there was a moment where I was only listening to black bands, right? Whether they were all black, or maybe they had a black guitarist, or maybe their singer was black, but it was sobering and it was relieving to find that even though, because for instance, Ice-T, right? He has an intense ass band called Body Count. And you got someone as OG as that motherfucker, and he's over here doing his metal thing. You know what I mean?
I had no idea about that. That's what's up.
Bro, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're meh, but they're a band that's more about the message than the music. So okay. When you listen to their songs, and yeah, you listen to their message, that's what you fuck with, rather than the actual music, right? And disclaimer: if you enjoy the music, obviously you enjoy the music, but I mean, obviously we're being subjective and whatnot, but yeah, you got motherfuckers like that. Even if we go back to the roots, right? You had BB King, right? Who obviously wasn't metal, but we all know that rock came from blues,
yep.
Right? Then from rock came metal, you know? And so you had BB King, you had Jimi Hendrix, right? You had all these pioneers in the game, and then Lenny Kravitz even. And it just goes to pave the way. It goes to pave the way. So, now you got people like LJ from Seven Dust, right? You got huge dreads, just like Brian Fair from Shadows Fall. AJ Channer, he's the dude from Fire from the Gods. He's
I don't mean to interrupt you.
He's
but
half Jamaican, half English. Yeah, I was about to say I could go in on.
No,
you're
good, and I like hearing about all this because I think this brings up a good point. I don't think a lot of us understand or know. I think now the narrative has changed where a lot of black people predominantly just associate with like hip hop and stuff. So, and you don't really
Right.
And metal, well, one, rock is not as popular as it used to be, but metal is even less popular than the overall like rock. So it's sometimes we don't necessarily see like that representation in the music industry on that scale. So it's nice to hear that there's actually a bunch of well, one, there's pioneers who actually paved the way for black people and just for the genre itself. But two, it's nice to hear that there's still black musicians in the game right now doing their thing.
So yeah, man. And then as well, like, you know, growing up, right? Because it's always like, oh, you dress weird. Oh, you listen to that screamo shit. Oh, you know, I can't fuck with that. I can't fuck with you. And so, like, it just even made me more of the black sheep because it was like, all right, well, I can't even be myself, you know? Hey, you know who it is? AKA Jake, aka Albino Black Sheep, aka Walmart Sinbad, holding it down out here.
Walmart Sinbad. Walmart. Oh my god, yo, he the off-brand. Hey, you know how you got the Fruity Loops, and then you got the motherfucking the Fruity O's.
No, man.
Hey, you know, I wasn't gonna say it, bro. I wasn't gonna say it, but he knows, man. That motherfucker look just like Sinbad.
It's gonna happen eventually, bro. You know what's funny? Every command that I went to, it only took about a week. And then just hey, you know who Sinbad is? And I'm just like, look, fuck you.
No,
we're not going on. We're not doing this. We're not doing this right now.
Oh, hey, real quick, we
you
got a
see that movie Shazam?
We had a question from Chubby Sensei. He said, question for Jake. At what point in your life did you decide to transition from the music consumer into a creator? And what's your greatest strength music-wise? That's good. I know you touched up on the first part a little bit, but he just tuned in. So why don't you, I'm gonna read it one more time.
I would say.
Go ahead.
I would say my transition from consumer to creator began in junior high. That was when I actually first picked up a bass guitar and started teaching myself like the notes and the tunings and you know how to coordinate my right and left hand and shit. And well, I'm talking bass, so you know fingers. But you know, and then that went to guitar, then that went, you know, whatever. But through the years, right, when I tell people I'm a musician, I tell them I'm a singer first and foremost, you know, because I'm not about to pick up a guitar and, you know, shred out these crazy ass solos like Yngwie Malmsteen or Jeff Loomis or, you know, all these crazy motherfuckers. Like I know what I am, right? I'm a rhythm player through and through. You know, can I play some fast licks? Can, you know, I shred? Yeah, I mean, I can. But not as good as, you know, Dimebag, not as good as, you know, all these other motherfuckers out there, Dave Mustaine and shit. Like, but that's never really been my forte, right? That's also never really been my style. I'm definitely more of a rhythm and groove type, you know? And while I do metal and my shit is faster paced, like I said, there isn't going to be a point in my music where I'm just making fast, like, crazy shred shit just because, you know? And a lot of people do, and that's your thing, you know, that's cool. But when I tell people, like, yeah, what I'm good at, and when it comes to performing, I tell people I'm a singer, you know, first and foremost. What I do really pride myself on is actual songwriting and composition. So if you say, hey, I have these instruments and I want to do this style of music, what can I do? You know, give me a little bit of time and I'll come back with a couple songs for you. And, you know, you can see what you like, what you don't like. You know, we can go from there. But I pride myself on my songwriting and my singing. Me personally.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Talk your shit. Good question, Shelby. Appreciate that, man. Great question.
Yeah, that was actually awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, you sound very passionate about your craft, and I fucks with that. But have there been any periods during your musical journey where you may have thought to yourself like maybe it was writer's block, or maybe you just didn't necessarily have like the confidence to continue making a song? Maybe something didn't stick with you or something like that. Did you ever have any lows when it came to your musical journey? And if so, what did you do to get over that?
There's two of them. One of them is a song I already came out with called "Distant Sirens," and it was musically wise, it was kind of experimental because it was more conceptual rather than just blunt storytelling. So I was trying to, how do I flex my brain in that moment so where I can communicate to people what I'm trying to get across. So that was, and even then, I'm not sure if I still did it. The song still came out fucking great. Don't get me wrong. But just on a personal, like from a creative standpoint, I don't know if I even achieved that. But then that's kind of the creative curse, right? If you're a painter, if you knit, if you make music, at some point you have to tell yourself to stop. It is good, right? It will be received well, and it might not be, because you could keep working on things and tweaking things for fucking years on end. Like it really is the creative's curse. But just recently, this next song I'm about to come out with next month, I've spent. I started it last August,
Ooh, that's a long time, bro.
and yeah,
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 that's a nice little minute.
and here it is. It's almost a year, almost a year, but it's finally at its 95 percent finished, and it's real, and not, and I don't exaggerate when I say this. Not one day has gone by where I haven't thought, how can I make this better? How can I write this better? How can I sing this better? How can I say this better? How can I do this better? How can I do that better? And I have a feeling I'm probably gonna look back on it like 6 months from now and be like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. The shoulda, coulda, woulda thing. But it's still a journey, and it's still a part of the process. So when you reach those moments of you're not sure what to do, don't just stop. Just keep doing it. Keep doing something, right? Because I believe the only way to get through writer's block is to keep writing. Because if you just throw your hands up and you just stop, then what progress is that?
Facts. So
You're
just
literally
persevere.
going nowhere.
Push through. That's what you're saying.
Exactly, and I kind of take a page out of Dan Harmon's book. Who, those of you who don't know, Dan Harmon is a writer, the dude behind Rick and Morty and Community and all that. His mantra is start off with something bad and keep changing it until it's good. Keep tweaking it, keep editing it. If you got something bad, work on it until it's good. And so those to me, that just goes hand in hand. Yeah, goes hand in hand. So I fucks with it.
That's dope, man. Dallas, you got any questions you want to ask Jake?
What's it like being, a black metal artist in a field that I feel is probably predominantly white, right? Like, do you have anyone who's kind of maybe just like doubts your talents based off of your looks? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like how, like, if you go to the basketball park and there's that one scrawny little motherfucker at the end, you're like, nah, he ends up being the hooper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have experiences like that? Do you feel like, with you being black, do you feel like it's harder for you to get in on both sides of the table?
Ooh.
So here's actually the interesting dichotomy with metal and black people, is that the only black people you see in metal are the best ones. So there's almost like a kind of, in the back of your mind, when you see a black person in a band, you almost assume that they're going to be good already. But metal doesn't go off of visuals, kind of like the hip hop industry does. In metal, and once again, the community kind of did it to itself. Metal is all about the performance. Metal is all about, right, if you make a slow song, right, is it the best slow song? If you made a fast song, is it the best fast song? If you metal is really a perfectionist type genre. And like I said, metal being a niche genre, we're already the outcasts. We're already, the black sheeps. We're already, the weird people. We're already, oh no, I better make friends with that guy so he don't shoot up the school later. Like that's kind of how it's, that's just kind of the stigma and the stereotype.
I mean,
Right.
And so really, when you join the community, there really is there is no type of like racism. There is no type of like sexism. There actually, I can't say that. If you're a female, that's a whole different dynamic. That's an entirely different dynamic.
Okay.
Unfortunately, females are majorly sexualized, but hot take, they kind of did it to themselves. So moving on.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Music. Once again, it's more about the music than it is about.
Jake trying to get up. Jake trying to get a
motherfucking
social. Motherfuckers going ham on
those.
Man.
But no, man. Once again, like, actually, and I can't say they did it to themselves, but it's something that they keep doing.
Just keep moving.
Like
keep
you got
people
like, yeah. Once again, yeah, it's a metal thing. It's a community thing. But yeah, there really isn't a at least in the metal community. Oh, you're black, so like, this and that, whatever. It's more so people outside of the community. They're just that's where you get more questions, more raised eyebrows, more assumptions and whatnot. So that's like I said, it's a weird dichotomy where metal itself doesn't really care what race or gender you are, but at the same time, if you're going to be in it, you don't have an option to be bad.
Okay, you can't be mediocre. You gotta really like put in work.
You gotta be raw. But I mean, like that still feels like a almost kind of like a barrier itself. You know what I mean? Like you have to be A1 top notch of your class to even be considered part of the deal. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But I mean, so like another question I was thinking of. You said like a lot of the projects are like money pits, right? Excuse me. Do you spend more money per se on like studio time, editing, stuff like that, or more like marketing, or maybe just like, instruments or stuff like that? Like, what do you like as far as the budget goes? What would you say you spend the most? Well, like, what's your biggest expense on making a song?
The biggest expense for a song was probably around like $6,000, and that was for the bearing.
Sheesh.
That comes with doing the video, doing the marketing, and this is all low grade shit too. It's because it's just me, doing this shit. So doing the marketing, doing the videos, doing the songs, the music and whatnot. Yeah, the studio time. But if I were, I don't want to say it's all equal, because I have like a $2,000 dollar guitar. You know what I mean? And that $2,000 can be spent on marketing. At the same time, I got like $300-$400 microphones, and like DI boxes, interfaces, compressors, like all this gear and equipment just so I can sound good. But then what good is me having a good product if no one's gonna listen to it? If no one's even gonna check it out and shit. Okay. So like eventually I would say I see most of my money going towards marketing. But as of right now, I would say I've probably spent more money on my gear than I have in promotion.
Well, that makes sense because there's a lot of instruments and stuff involved in rock music versus hip hop, where you can just get a DAW. I mean, you can incorporate other music in hip hop as well, but normally I feel like when it comes to rock in general, they prefer people to actually know how to play the instruments, but they prefer that live experience versus the digital or virtual one. So we got a couple questions from the we got a couple questions from the viewers here, and I'm gonna read them real quick. So try to keep these within like a 2-3 minute thing.
Okay.
Except for the last one, I actually really like this question. But all right, so we're gonna start off with Nayron Monk. Nayron Monk said, "Hey Jake, just wondering, when you were teaching yourself new instruments, did you go by the book, as in reading music, or did you teach yourself more so by ear and by listening? I play many instruments, and at the same time, I've never learned how to read music. So
So both. I did do traditional like band music through school. So yeah, I can read sheet music. I could still sight read. I still have the muscle memory, playing scales on trumpet and tuba, and still got some foundational skills from playing like percussion and shit. But when I picked up guitar and bass, right, the fretboard was a totally different thing. So that I actually went all by ear on. So it's a little bit of both. I don't. How do I say? Like now I'm at the point where I can transcribe my music. I can write out all the chord progressions and shit. I can transcribe the melodies and whatnot. But when I was learning, I did have a formal background. And then when I got into metal, that's when I went more by ear and feel than technicality, if that makes sense.
Hey, you gotta be a cold you gotta be a cold motherfucker to carry that tuba around and still play that joint.
Dog, I was even in marching band with the sousaphone, the big ass thing running around this football field and shit.
Whenever I see a tuba, I'm like, man, you gotta carry that joint and play.
Right.
And
they gotta be some. They gotta have some. They can't skip leg day, yo, because that shit is a whole. Yeah, that shit's a whole fucking workout.
Oh, dude, because it sits right on your traps. So like freshman year of high school, my shit just my shit was just all fucking.
You on the football team? No, I played the tuba, huh?
Bro, the first fucking day of marching band practice, the first day, and I will never forget this. Teacher said, "All right, is everyone here? Roll call. All right, cool. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run 3 laps, do 50 push-ups, and then we're gonna start practice." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
He was like, "Sports, working out."
Exercise?
I'm not trying to do that shit. He said, "Bitch, did you read the curriculum?"
That shit fucked me up so much.
This is bad.
I gotta run almost
I ain't passed the physical
mile
fitness test to get in the band.
So we got another question. We got another question by Chubby Sensei. He said, another question for Jake. Ultimately, this is a good one. Ultimately, what do you want your legacy to be as an artist? And do you see yourself retiring from music? So that is a great question. And then this is going to be the last question before we transition to our second segment of the show. But go ahead, man.
So as far as the legacy goes, right? What I want is when someone either shares or stumbles upon SOS, what I want from that is just for them to see quality over quantity. Because if it was not even if it was up to me, what I can do is, right, I can bang out a song in a day. That's not hard. What is hard is actually knowing what decisions you're making and why. There is a reason why my music sounds the way it does. And that's what takes a long time. That's what's actually the challenging part of putting out music through SOS, is making sure that when I look back on my own music, I don't, right, kind of contradictory, but that I don't have those shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That I am proud, and that I'm not trying to share something and then be kind of meek about it. I'm trying to, if I say, hey, check out my shit, I have full 100% confidence that no matter what the fuck you click on or tap on or share, review, whatever, it's going to be good. It will be the best it can be. That's what I want to leave behind for SOS. For all my other music projects, like I've done, I just did one. When was it? It was either released January or December. I can't remember, but it's like an alternative rock. Something way softer, something way more melodic, and it was like that band is called Mammoth, and it was just a one release, one EP. I did a full collaboration with a couple other professionals. That came out great. But eventually, right, the music legacy, just in general, that I want to leave behind is that I was just about my music. All right, that you could see that, oh, this dude did this, he did this, he did this, he did that. Like he's about his music. That's what I ultimately want to leave behind.
That's what's up. And do you see yourself retiring from music? Like, do you see your music becoming your primary source of income and something that you can retire from?
Realistically, no. I believe that gone are the days of like Led Zeppelin, having their private jets and shit. The Beatles, going on world tours and having multi-million-dollar homes. And I believe the last band to go mainstream, like commercial mainstream, was Five Finger Death Punch. And even then, that was back in like circa 2008, 2010. But the industry is different, just the music industry as a whole. But realistically, if I retire from music, it's not going to be from a band. It's going to be hired jobs, like people are going to come to me and be like, hey, I want you on this song, or hey, I want you to mix this, I want you to produce that, I want you to sing on this, I want you to that's what it would end up being.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't say it was gonna be the last question, but I want to kind of go in on this because you came on the show, and I'm not saying you're lacking confidence now, but you came on your show like, yo, this is my shit, this shit is hot, this shit is great, and I think we can all agree. I think in today's age where you don't necessarily have to worry about record labels and such to become big, to get income from it, you know what I'm saying? We live in an age of social media. We live in an age where you can become your own, boss, you can become your own production company, et cetera, et cetera. So have you ever looked into that aspect of the musician things? Because a lot of musicians, they go on YouTube, they go on TikTok, they go on Instagram, and they get their money through those avenues, but they're still putting out their own music. So I ain't trying to hold you, homie, but fuck all that other shit. If this is your shit, right? If this is like, hey, this is what I want to do, this is my music, and I know you got a passion for it, bro. Granted, it's a learning curve. It's gonna be a learning curve, but bruh, push that shit out on all these social medias. Push that shit out and get your music out there. And I'm telling you, there's a market of people who gonna fuck with you. And you may not necessarily make superstar Led Zeppelin motherfucking money or something like that, because like you said, that whole genre of like worldly bands. If you think about it now, like the worldly bands are older for a reason. Like there's not really any new worldly bands.
Exactly.
So that concept is out the window. But as far as still becoming successful and still getting a lot of money through your music itself and through the band and through whatever, that is still a very high possibility, brother. So I'm gonna have to
no. I don't want to come off. All right, I don't want to come off and say that I can't make any money from it. But I'm saying the way that I am running it, I'm being realistic about it, right? Because like I said, this is a passion project, and it's quality over quantity, and it's only one person. If I had a drummer, if I had a guitarist, if I had other people, like-minded other people working on this, I would have had a hell of a lot more progress. But being realistic about it and how I run this, this isn't something that I'm gonna be able to live off of.
As a guy who doesn't like metal, if I'm sitting here willing to listen to your shit, then obviously you gotta be pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there are a lot more people who probably think higher of you than you're probably giving yourself credit for right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's one of those deals where it's like, man, people are reach out like, oh man, I'd love to do a project with you. If you're good at something, it's like on TikTok, there are people who, if you go on TikTok and you make a song and all of a sudden there's a challenge or something to your song, your song is going to blow up just like that.
Right.
And it's like, it's in an age of social media and stuff like that, the people you want to reach will find you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like the people who are the people who are big into metal are looking for new metal to listen to all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like it's one of those things where like I understand you. I understand where it's like back in the day, a band and a metal band or a rock band was number one on all the charts. You know what I'm saying? All the things. Maybe not in a conventional sense, but like what Dak was saying, man, you could definitely get out here and chase this paper though. You know
it ain't no definitely.
Like
the question was, am I gonna retire off of this?
You going?
Oh yeah,
yes. And the answer is yes. Listen, I'm answering for Jake. The answer is yes. All right, let me tell y'all something, bro. Let me tell y'all something. The homie Jake, he be talking his shit, and but he's a very humble guy. He says he's being realistic. He's being humble guy. He thinks and I ain't trying to like throw you under the bus, homie. So just listen to what I gotta say. All right, this motherfucking brand, your motherfucking band, everything, the shit you putting out is hot. All right. I think the biggest thing we have to focus on, and especially and this isn't just applicable to you. It's applicable to any up and coming musician. You know, the thing is, you can do so much with your music. You do so much with your platform, and if you have a real passion for it, like the homie Jake does, all right, all it takes is a little bit of grinding. And I think the biggest reason why, and I 100% understand where Jake's coming from, because we have been working individuals for a very long time, right? So for those of you who don't know, me and Jake used to be in the military, both in the Navy. That's how we met. We met in A school, right? And just through A school, both ITs, and then we're in the civilian world, working and doing our own thing. It's very it's very difficult to find time to do other things, other passion projects, and build your brand when you understand the obligations that you have to do as a person and as an individual. We got to make our money, we got to pay bills, we got to do et cetera, et cetera. But Jake, let me tell you something, my guy. We gonna listen. All right. Not only are you gonna get big, but I'm gonna get big. Dallas gonna get big. Motherfucking Chubby Sensei gonna get big. All right. We gonna do this shit. And this whole, I hate to answer this question for you, but fuck all that other shit. Fuck all that realistically this and whatever. Nah, man. We finna get it to the point where my motherfucking dog is out there on the stage with a drummer and motherfucking guitarist, and he's out here fucking sweating his little fucking Sinbad looking self out, doing his shit. Fucking on stage fucking rocking that shit. And guess what? I'm gonna be on the backstage like, I told you, homie. And we gonna have all the bitches and all that other shit. Listen, you gonna do your shit, Jake. Fuck all that other shit. You gonna do your shit, homie. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Andreas,
I'm only one person. I can only go as fast.
And you know what? He is only one person, but that's why we got that's why we got Black Sheep Collective, bro. Because the collective is meant to where we could all help each other, all uplift each other, and get to a point where everybody gets to. Everybody who wants to achieve something can achieve it, Fuck all these other people pigeonholing things and making it so, only certain demographics of people can get their name out there. Like, fuck that shit, bro. Black Sheep Collective is definitely going to become a brand that puts everybody on. Everybody who eats, everybody who contributes and has dedication and passion. Y'all motherfuckers going to get seen. And Jake's going to be the motherfucking first one. I promise that shit. Fuck all that other shit. I promise that shit. And listen, all we need is to keep pushing each other, man. That's it. Keep pushing each other, brother. So I'm gonna read these comments and then we're gonna get to the second part of the show. I feel bad because I feel like I didn't want to make Jake look bad or nothing crazy like that, man. But I can't. I'm uplifting my kings on this motherfucking channel. Fuck all the extra shit. All right. So Chubby Sensei said, exactly, DK. All in no matter what. You gotta be Led Zeppelin, or you don't have to be Led Zeppelin. You're SOS, and that can be legendary in its own lane. Facts though, and it will be. It will be. All right, motherfucking Chubby Sensei said, "You'd be surprised how many people are out there dying to hear your music, and they don't even know about it yet. Your music is fire, bro, for real. The ceiling is whatever you say it is. On God." Yo, I wish I had a motherfucking air horn.
You ain't lying.
You know that motherfucking sound effect? Because that's Cause that's facts, bro. That's motherfucking facts.
It is. That's true. Yeah.
Andreas Walt said, "Don't believe in you." Hey, Andreas, you my nigga for this. So he telling Jake, he said, "Don't believe in you. Believe in the DK and the Dallas that believes in you." For those of y'all who don't know, that's a Girl Lagan shout out, yo. That's a Girl Lagan shout out. That's facts though, man. Yo, if you don't believe in you, believe in the me that believes in you. All right? That's facts. And Chubby Sensei said, "Hell yeah, man. Speak it into reality and walk the path, yo." And that's the thing, Jake. You ain't walking this path by yourself. I mean, you walking the SOS path by yourself, but the path to get your music out there and all that other stuff is not by yourself, bro. I'm gonna do what I can. Dallas gonna do what he can, and as Black Sheep Collective grows and we get bigger and bigger, all our people gonna help each other out. We all gonna make sure everybody eats. Everybody in this bitch gonna eat. Facts though. All right.
Hey.
All right. So real quick, I want to
facts.
give you guys an opportunity. Are you guys good to continue the show? Does anybody need like a little 5-minute break to take a piss or something like that? Come back.
I'm good.
You're good.
No, I'm good.
All right. Dallas is good. Cool. So we just gonna keep on. We gonna keep on steamrolling. So, as everybody knows, the purpose of the M.O.B Podcast is to kind of try to give back to the Black community. We talk about a lot of things that are extremely personal. Normally, it revolves around like societal, cultural issues, interpersonal issues. Just speaking from like the Black perspective, right? So, the first little bit, I like to keep things lighthearted and talk about some fun stuff. And then the second little bit, I like to talk about things that are more impactful to the community. And normally I have a script for these things, but we didn't do it today because I just felt like, it is what it is. And besides that, me and Jake and Dallas, we all have this dynamic where we can talk about some real shit, and I don't necessarily have to do it to come up with a script anymore. But what I do want to do is I do want to touch up on some things that were discussed, right? In particular, Jake, you talked about your you going through your substance abuse. You're going through your stage of alcohol addiction, and I want to chime in on that because a lot of people don't know, and I really don't like putting my business out there, but a lot of people don't know. I was in a similar situation, right, where I was going through a real low. I'm not gonna say the low because I don't want to give no motherfuckers ammo to try to like come back at me like, oh, I had you fucked up, huh? Anyway, I had some periods where I went through some low shit, and and I started drinking alcohol, man. And for those of y'all who don't know, I actually used to never fuck with alcohol. Like the homie Jake can attest to this. We would be in A school, and obviously I wasn't young. I wasn't old enough to drink at the time, but that doesn't really. Most people don't really give a fuck about that. But I would always be DD. I would never want to drink. I had plenty of opportunities to drink, but that just wasn't me because
plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, because growing up, I had a negative experience with alcohol, and I always thought alcohol was like terrible. So I just never drank, and then fucking joined the military, and fucking went to Japan, and
you'll start eventually.
Yeah, you'll start eventually. Motherfucker was just like, yo, I was like, I need something. So what I want to do,
I need something.
I say all that to say this. I want each of us here, if you guys are willing to do so, I want each of us to share a time where we went through something and we did something deconstructive. Whereas, maybe we coped with our pain through alcohol, maybe we coped through our pain through doing whatever. But I want each one of you to share that experience, if you're comfortable, share the experience, and then tell us what you did to get over that, to change that deconstructive behavior into something constructive. Now, Jake kind of tapped in a little bit with his SOS. So, Dallas, I want to give you the opportunity to speak on that first.
I'd probably say, man, the lowest low I've probably ever had was when I had to transition from like my whole like playing football and being a football player to just being like a dude, just like a regular person. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in college, my my junior college football, whatever, didn't really end up the way it was supposed to. Basically, long story short, I was having my my football coach act as my like academic advisor and telling me which classes I had to take, and I ended up with way too many credits in a small amount of time. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and then come to find out that I probably would have been eligible with the grades that I had even before the classes got took. So then it was like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like I've lifted all these weights. I've thought I was gonna go here. I thought I was gonna go do this. I can't even go back to school no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it took me years, man, to get over that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and what did what did you, if you don't mind me asking, did any like negative? Did you develop any negative habits from that?
Oh man, yeah, man. Like I was never been like a heavy drinker per se. I was never one who tried to like lean on substances or anything like that to get through stuff. But like, man, I just like shut myself down. I was
Mm.
isolated, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't live
Yeah.
in a big city, man. And so for someone to be like, man, I ain't seen you in 5 6 years means you don't want to be seen because it ain't hard to see people where I'm at. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, I was just always in the house in a dark room. You talk about depression and people talk about going days without showering and stuff. Like that was stuff
Yep.
that like I was doing and having situations of, and I'm not even noticing it, right? Like
Mm.
I'm up and
Exactly.
the days going past me, and days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months. It was like, man, I was just up at school. I was getting ready to be I was a pharmacy major. Like my first semester of school, I had an 18 credit pharmacy schedule and played football.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I was always trying to do too much. So it got to a point where it was like, man, I can't play ball. I can't go to school. I'm working at fucking Walmart, Sam's Club. Like, man, this ain't what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So like, it got to the point to where like, man, I was just in the dumps and I just wasn't myself, man. And I was just isolated. And the other homies are off at school playing sports and doing their thing and getting their degrees, and it's like I
Mm.
feel like a failure. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
we all wasn't gifted and talented. We all came up together. You know what I'm saying? We all ate together and grinded together, and here I am working this mediocre ass job, and I got just as much potential as everything else. So I was really hard on myself. So like when I fell, it was like myself was just everything was a self destructive behavior.
Mm.
Like
Damn.
was getting. I was hanging out with a bunch of people who really probably didn't have my best interests at heart. Like, I'd go to work and make all this money, and then on the weekends, all we would do was just like party it away. You know what I mean? And then it's like me thinking I'm being a big homie, I'm paying for stuff and going here and doing this, and then all of a sudden, I ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? And everything was gone. So, it took a while to dig me up out of that hole. I just started doing little positive things, man, and just trying to make everything, better. Like
Yeah.
one thing I had to do is I had to stop watching football for a long time. Like I was telling y'all, one of the episodes, I was a football nerd. I knew everything, every position, every stat, height, everything.
Damn.
I couldn't watch football for 4 5 years after that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Damn.
I maybe would have watched like the Super Bowl, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until like recently, a couple years ago, where I start, playing fantasy football again and getting back into it. But that was something I couldn't do. So, I mean, man, it's difficult, and that's why I always sympathize with people when it comes to like mental health you know, and when I see people with substance abuse, it's because it's like one wrong break can lead you down that path. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yup.
And from and from having
Yup.
people in my family who suffer from addiction, I know that it's an everyday fight, right? Like it's not something that like once you get a grasp on it, then you just don't have the urge to do this anymore. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So it's a constant thing. So kudos to you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big ups to Brooklyn for
And
the fight.
and just I mean, one, I want to thank you for sharing that, but two, I want to ask you. You said you did some positive things to get over that. And you had to stop watching football, but what other traits did you have to develop, or what other habits did you have to pick up to kind of like break you out of that slump?
Man, I had to take a step back and just kind of put I guess you could say my pride and my ego aside. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like
okay.
that was the biggest thing because it's like, in my head I knew I was about to go and do something great, do something legendary. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that like my expectations of myself were hurting me. You know what I mean? Like the expectations and the weight that I was putting on my own shoulders was hurting me. And I'm not saying not to reach for the stars and have big expectations, but it was like again, anyone that's ever been to college knows 18 credits and playing football at the exact same time is a lot. I mean, 18 is the max amount of credits you can take, and you're playing college football. You got to be at practice, you know, 4 or 5 hours of the day, practice, film,
God
weights. You know what I'm
damn.
saying? I spent way more time in a football helmet than I ever did in a in a classroom. So I definitely bit too much
Jeez.
off from myself, and I had to realize that everything takes steps. And it was one of those, and I feel like a lot of people our age suffer from a thing where it's like, man, I'm 24, 25 now. I thought I'd have a degree. I'd be making a whole bunch of money and everything's going to go like that. And you know what I'm saying? It was like, I had to really like get in
Put that
tune with
pride
myself
aside.
because yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I really had to get in tune with myself because my homies are getting families. My homies have kids. They got
Hey,
families. They're going on and doing their thing. So I couldn't just like, I didn't
yo,
really have anyone to talk to. So I had to spend a lot of time to myself.
hey, real quick, y'all, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, Dallas. But real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Nay Fox. Nay Fox has come through, and Nay Fox is our first official M.O.B Podcast follower on Twitch.
Hey,
So Nay Fox, man, appreciate you, yo. Hey, we
shout
starting to get
out.
our Twitch love, yo.
Hey.
You know, appreciate. Hey, Nay
What's
Fox, man,
good? What's
appreciate you coming through. What's good?
good?
So
For sure.
welcome to the
For sure.
show, man. And I hope you dig the show. I hope you dig what we got going on and everything. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming through. So yeah,
That's what's up.
continuing on to our show, continuing on to our topic. Jake, well, you know what? Nah, Jake already gave his story, so I'm gonna share my story now. All right. So, I want to share about the time that I got in one of my lowest points for me, and it's not the lowest, but one of my lowest points. So I got in trouble in the military, right? I actually had to go through the process of NJP. For those of you who don't know, it's non-judicial punishment. And long story short, I got into a bar fight in Japan. I did, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to do whatever. Point is, dude got drunk. Dude fought me. My actual like wrongdoing in the situation was the fact that I was out at a time where I shouldn't have been out. Right, in the military in Japan in that AOR, there's a curfew restriction, right? And me and my friends were out past that curfew restriction, and regardless of what happens, that is my actual fault in this situation. As far as everything else goes, yeah, I got into a bar fight. I ain't gonna let nobody just hit me, so it is what it is. We made it do what it do, but anyway, the point is, before that moment or before that time, at my command, I was kind of like I'm gonna talk my shit. I was the shit. You know what I'm saying? In my job, I was running the shop as a second class, and it's a staff command, so it's a very high ranking command. The majority of people at the command were E6 and above, and just in general. And for most commands, that's not how the dynamics work. You know what I'm saying? So
Just to intervene to emphasize, right? When D was telling me, he was like, oh, I run this shop. I'm the shit. I run, I'm the, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. But then when I went out to go visit him one of the times, when I went out there, I literally went into his command, into his building, into his shop, and I kid you not, all the fucking leadership and supervisors were running everything through this motherfucker, and they were like, "Oh, well, let's see what he thinks about this. Oh, well, let's see. Hey, do you think this is it?" And I'm over here, right, fly on the wall, right? I'm over here staying out of the way, and I'm like, this motherfucker wasn't kidding. I was like, he really runs this goddamn place.
Listen, man. I was
like, oh my god.
I'm one of those people. I take like mad pride in my work, like, and whatever I do, I'm trying to be like that nigga in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be the main person doing what it is, and just that's the work ethic that I was raised on. But before that moment, before I got in trouble, I was in a good graces. No other type of trouble at all in the military. My record was like spotless up until that point. And then I went through my process again in NJP, and during that time I was dealing with a lot of shit. Unfortunately, a homie at the time, we went out. I'm actually not going to share that because I don't have his permission to share that story. But the point is, one of my homies was going through something really, really bad, and I was trying to be there to support him. And then it seemed like as soon as I got in trouble, all the people who were patting me on the back or doing whatever ain't give a fuck. they were out there saying, "Oh, this man just, all right, well, you know, it is what it is." Man, let me tell you something. There's a process in NJP, or before you get to the NJP, and it's called a DRB, and that is a disciplinary review board, and it's basically for what they like to tell you is that it's people fact finding. All right, it's the E7s or Chiefs fact finding. That's not what the fuck it is. All right, they make you get in your motherfucking dress whites, you standing at attention, and motherfuckers is yelling at you, yo. And you know, I was cool. I knew that was gonna happen, but there were some things, you know, there were some things said that really like bothered me, you know. And the whole time though, you have to have military bearing. You got to be whatever. But there's people looking in my face calling me a thug, which is to me that's the politically correct way of saying the N word. Like in the hard R N word. That's the politically correct way to say that. So people were calling me a thug. People were saying I was a shitty friend to the homie for putting them in a situation where like we were all just trying to have a good time, and it was someone else who just, you know, because of alcohol he did what he did. But I mean, there was a lot of just personal attacks being thrown, man. And then I started losing a lot of like the things that I gained, the accolades that I gained. You know, I lost my leadership position within the shop. A lot of the people who relied on me on certain things, they kind of just was like, oh, we don't want to associate with this person because he got in trouble, you know? And I felt very isolated, or ostracized is the better word. I felt like damn, I did all this good shit. I was doing all this crazy shit before, and then all of a sudden you're like, it is what it is, you know? Like, and we don't care about him no more. I just felt like used, you know? It was weird, man. And after that time, or during that time, it was very difficult. I had to be put in restriction, which is basically, it's basically fucking adult punishment. They put you in a room, you don't got shit to do, and you're sitting there by yourself. But for me, that's actually super detrimental. I don't like necessarily being alone with my thoughts, you know, because I'm an overthinker, you know, and all this shit's happening. I'm sitting here overthinking certain shit.
I have that same problem.
And it was just a very shitty experience. And and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take accountability on certain things. I did develop a disdain and a spite for the military because of that. And that's actually one of the reasons why I left, for one. But my wrongdoing, or the destructive things that I was doing during that time was, you know, I just kind of gave up. You know, I didn't necessarily care about the job. Yep. I didn't necessarily care about like certain people were trying to, like, after I dealt with my punishment, certain people were trying to sit here and be like, hey, DK, whatever. And I'm like, nah, don't fuck with me. Don't talk to me. Like, you ain't care when I was going through my shit, so I don't want you trying to, you know, do whatever. And I just developed like this really big disdain. It wasn't good, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't beneficial. I became like a Debbie Downer type of person, and that's not like the type of person I want to be. But a lot of the things the things that I did to get over that, right? And I want to kind of like circle back to what Dallas said. A lot of it for me was my pride and my ego. I'm a very prideful person. That's one of my like biggest flaws, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like people tried to make me look a certain type of way, and I just wasn't fucking with it. So I had this like, I want to say like a barrier that I had to chip away. I had to put my pride and my ego aside and say, you know what? This one instance, it is what it is. And the people who negatively affect you, they're them. But it's not indicative of everybody else. And it took me a little while to like kind of open back up and do certain things. But, you know, I think I just had to like develop a fortitude, you know, like an internal fortitude where I was just like, fuck it, you know. I went through my shit. I'm going to take this L, but I'm going to keep it moving, you know? And in all honesty, a lot of people were saying, like, when I decided to get out of the military, a lot of people were saying a lot of fuck shit. You know, a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, it's hard to get a job out in the civilian world, and, you know, you got trouble, so it might negatively affect your position or your ability to keep certain things. And I was like, I'm going to be all right. And, I mean, look at me now. I feel like I'm doing pretty solid right now, personally. So, you know. But that's my story. That's my little tidbit.
Nah, you can be doing better.
Yeah, you know.
No, there definitely is. I'm not gonna lie. Because I've had people straight up tell me to my face, Like they're just like, you ain't never gonna be shit. You can be flipping burgers the rest of your life. You're never gonna have a job. You're never blah, 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 like everything. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie. There are, especially when I've been drinking, there are some days where I really gotta hold back, like just saying fuck you to everybody and be like, look where I'm at now, right? And I, not to put all my business out there, but I am definitely doing damn good for myself. Like, I don't care what no one says.
Yeah,
like, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Fuck all that.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing, yo. Fuck it, right?
Fuck all that.
The negative experience, everything you go through. I mean, and I know people say this a lot, people, but I'm gonna fucking say it because this is my show. I'm saying whatever the fuck I want to say. At the end of the day, right? All your negative experience make you who you are. They build you. They mold you. And I know while you're going through that particular situation, it may seem like the fucking world is ending. It may seem like the shittiest fucking thing. And you're sitting here like, woe is me. Why do I have to deal with this? Why do I have to fucking go through these obstacles when other people don't necessarily have to? But at the end of the day, that's life. I mean, life's a fucking bitch. And it deals with, it gives you a lot of shit that you just have to deal with. And the only way you're going to like, come out for it or come out of that for the better is by persevering and just by like continue to like just take a hit. What's that motherfucking Rocky saying where the dude's like, hey, it's not about how many times you get hit, it's about how many times you get hit or pick back up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that's like you really just gotta keep getting hit and keep getting back up, yo. Like that's the whole point. But real quick before we move on, I'm gonna read some of these comments.
Oh shit!
So yo, Nate Fox, if you're still watching us on Twitch, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. And love from the UK. That's what's up. Look at that international reach coming through. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
And
Mob's International, baby.
Yeah. And Dark Garcia said, shout out to the parents that raised you with impeccable work ethic. And that's her talking her shit because that's my mom's. So, shout out to moms, yo. Shout out to moms. All right. Maurice Williams Chubby Sensei, that's people, man. They be on your dick while everyone else is right up until mistakes are made. Then it's like you were never shit to begin with. Like Goblin said in Spider-Man, the only thing people love more than a hero is to see a hero fall or see a hero fail.
Ooh.
That's facts, though. Just to let you guys know, I can't see the chat from now. Going to play some games, but I'm still listening. Yeah, Nate Fox, just to let you know, I haven't really dealt too much with Twitch because we just haven't had people like hitting us up on Twitch. But, I mean, you coming through. So now we starting to make a little leeway. So, hey, that just gives me some push to make the upgrade this whole layout. N. Garcia.
The twist. Yeah.
N. Garcia said, this is why we can't look to others for validation. You have to believe in you always because others won't. That's facts. So maybe that should be the theme of this show. At the end of the day, man, you got to be solid. You got to have that internal like perseverance and that internal drive and just not necessarily care about what others say or what others do or how they feel or how they view you. What's it? Everybody knows my favorite motherfucking anime is Gurren Lagann, and motherfucking Kamina always says, believe in the you that believes in yourself. Because at the end of the day, we come in this world and we come out of this world by ourselves, bro. And only you can deal with your own shits. So, but I mean, hey, Jake, Dallas, you guys have any last words you guys want to say to the people? Anything you want to touch up on before we start closing things down?
Yeah, definitely. Go follow my band. Go buy all my merch and shit. Help me break even on everything, and then somebody create me a GoFundMe. And I'm just kidding. No, that's actually something that like that's actually something that I've actually been pretty adamant about in whenever it comes to SOS. I don't want it to be a type of charity. So like, yeah, you won't catch me saying, oh, go follow, comment, like, and subscribe. Go do this, go do that. Da, da, da. I leave it purely to if someone really wants to, and they do, then that means that they fuck with me, and that means that I'm still doing something right. You know what I mean? So, but fuck it, I'm gonna take the time to do the plug. Everyone go follow
plug
me.
his shit, man. Hey, listen, go
man.
follow the homie on.
Go follow, subscribe, like, all that.
He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitch. But his IG is survivors.of.suicide. Yo, and you know what? Peep the comment section below after this show. And then just check out our page on both IG or Facebook. We got all his information there. Please go through and show the homie love. Dallas, you got anything you want to say? Dallas is shaking his head.
Shout out to the homie Jake, man.
For sure. All right. Hey, listen.
Shout out to the homie.
Look, the technical difficulty says, look, we gonna get one last jab in, you know what I'm saying? Man, one last jab in. Right. So, hey, you know what? It is what it is, y'all. Yeah. What we gonna do is, first off, thank you guys for checking out the show. Like, comment, subscribe. At the end of the day, remember, the point of the podcast is just to talk about things that matter, you know, and while we may agree to disagree on certain things, the point is that these are conversations that need to be had, and these are talks that need to be heard. All right. So before we actually leave, we're going to play Jake's favorite song, and that's going to be our little outro. All right. So y'all stick around to listen to Season of the Witch by Survivors of Suicide. But, you know, that's it for us today. So y'all have a good one. Peace.